celebrating our 60th. We're going to start things off today with a little history lesson, right? So on March 15th, 1915, our founder Carl Laemmle invited the public into the studio to watch silent movies being made. Yes, but walked from set to set, marvel at the new technology involved in filmmaking. What was the invention of sound and the need for quiet on the set? The original walking tour ended. In the 1960s, under the leadership of company chairman Lou Wasserman and executives Al Korskin and Jay Stein, the idea of reviving a tour of the studio turned when the Grand Line bus tours originating in Hollywood made a stop at our gates. On July 15, 1964, the first of our red and white candy-striped glamour trams took 67 passengers on a 2-hour driving tour of the Universal lot, and the world-famous studio tour was born. We started with 2 drivers, 2 guides, and 1 ticket seller working out of a trailer on Lancaster Boulevard. From there, the studio tour expanded with fantastic, one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements like the rock slide and the burning house, which are right around this area a lot back in the 70s and 80s. Very ironic having the burning house located in this area, because coming up on the right-hand side, you're going to see our very own fire station we have out here in our lot nowadays. It's our Fire Station 51. Now today, you are actually on one of our 60th anniversary glamour trams. It is one of our super trams, but it's dressed up in throwback style. So the red and white candy striping, it was originally created by Harper Goff, who was a well-known Hollywood art director and set designer who worked on movies like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for Paramount, and he was known for his fantastical designs. In 1983, we upgraded to super trams, allowing us to carry more guests and experience more thrills. In 2000, we added on-board video, essentially turning the tram to a movie theater on wheels. And then in the past 5 years, we have gone electric. So while you're right there in the low line, you may have noticed some of the trams are not all dressed up in the glamour tram throwback style, but they have green writing on the sides. Those are going to be our electric trams, so they're much quieter. And those are essentially like the trams of the future today. So you may see some of those traveling around the block as well. Now we are currently making our way down our movie poster timeline area out here today. So you're getting a nice selection of some of the thousands of movies we have created here at Universal Studios over the years. Coming up over on the left-hand side, you can see our very newly repainted 7-stage 12. It used to say The Voice on the side, but it was just repainted just a few days ago. It looks great. But that particular sound stage, again, used to be home to The Voice. They've actually moved that show a little further in our back lot. They're currently using sound stages 30 and 31, and they are currently working on season 26 for that show. So they have definitely come quite a long way for The Voice. Now we're about to head into our front lawn area, which means we're going to pass by a couple more sound stages. What are these guys waiting for? Those are going to be coming up here on the left-hand side. And because today is a Saturday, that means there might not be a lot of active production out here, but I'm going to keep an eye out for wig-wag lights just in case, because sometimes on the weekends we'll have like pickup shots or commercials doing some active production out here. But it looks like we should be good for now. Great. These sound stages, they've been used for shows like Hacks, Quantum Leap, and even the show Bel Air.
Leaving the theme park behind and entering the front line where real Hollywood magic is made. Out and inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands. For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination can take you, even to the palatial mansion of Bel Air.
When we film Bel Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You never know.
Or what?
We'll see the studio tour.
And again, those are a couple of the actors from the show Bel Air. That's the one that's based on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And something else today on the tour, a lot of the productions I'm going to mention to you, they do not have to be NBC or Universal productions because it works like a big rental facility out here. So, for example, the show Never Have I Ever, which airs on Netflix, they actually filmed seasons 2, 3, and 4 out here in our lot. Although, technically, that is a Universal television production that doesn't happen to air on Netflix. So sometimes the wires will cross them in, but if you're going to mention like a Paramount production that filmed here in our lot, or a Disney movie that used one of our sets, that's because it works like a big rental facility out here. Now that show Never Have I Ever, they used to film over inside of sound stages 16 and 17. Before they moved inside of those structures, those same sound stages used to be home to one of my favorite shows, The Good Place.
You, Ellen and Shensor, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife I've never ever seen. Yes, you're in the third place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
They filmed out here in our lot. They filmed out here for four very successful seasons. Now, currently, we are taking you all through
It wasn't really bad. It was okay.
Exciting. A lot of sitcoms or TV shows filmed out here over the years, including a lot of scenes on your screens there. Although, quick disclaimer, not all of these shows are filmed here in our lot. They just all happen on the ABC Universal LA. Actually, a couple of minutes hanging out there on the Illumination Entertainment side there, all prepped and ready for our 60th anniversary as well today. Speaking of Illumination Entertainment, I'm actually going to go ahead and bring up one of the founders of that company. He's going to tell you all about our production bungalows. Those are looking here on the left-hand side. And then he's going to mention one of their upcoming projects.
What is that?
In the early days of the studio, these bungalows were used as dressing rooms to the stars of Hollywood's golden age. Now, they're used as offices where some of Hollywood's top directors, writers, and producers work their magic to get a production ready, including my company, Illumination. At Illumination, we've made some of the most successful animated films in box office history, including Despicable Me, The Lorax, The Secret Life of Pets, Minions, Sing, The Grinch, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. And the team is hard at work again as we launch our next film, Despicable Me.
That's you.
It's now officially my favorite.
It's down to his emotional through line, and I believe that that's why these movies have stayed in people's hearts for so long.
Talk about all these properties like they did last
He was
time.
mentioning our production
Tell us who would stay there and how they would write there and how they got started with all
that
these
stands for
movies.
Mark Platt. He's one of the main producers on the upcoming Wicked production. So Wicked Part 1, that's what's in theaters right around Thanksgiving time this year. So you'll have that to look forward to. And also on the side, we're passing by a couple of our newer sound stages. They look a little different. We've got a couple of executive
Martin
offices and
Kimball?
dressing rooms on the front-facing wall there.
Teddy
Those
Valenti.
structures very recently been used for shows like Lopez versus Lopez, as well as St.
Oh,
Dennis.
Lopez, Robert Malakosi and Stupid. Huh? Oh, yeah.
We can officially say goodbye to the front lot and hello to the back lot, which means
Sorry.
it's time for some more Jimmy Fallon.
We're about to cross the imaginary boundary onto the back lot, where we have exterior sets for many outdoor scenes. Over the last 60 years, studio tour guests have seen these locations turned into big cities, quiet suburbs, even that guy's hometown. Yeah, that guy. For countless movies and TV shows. This is Universal's Metro Sets.
Perfect, thanks Jimmy. Yes, so we are heading to our Metro sets first. So we're on the right-hand side. We're going to be passing through our Brownstone Street location. For those of you who've been on the tour in the past, you'll notice this area looks very different right now. They have it all set up for that new medical comedy. Again, they're calling it St. Dennis Medical, so you can see like the emergency drop-off area, the ambulance hangout location as well. So really need to see it all prepped and ready for that new show. They've been filming here over the last couple of weeks on our lot. Now our next area, I'm actually going to go ahead and let Bob Gale and Leah Thompson prep us for our next area.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films.
And they represented multiple time periods, 1985, 1955, and the far, far distant future, 2015. To this day, this is one of the most popular sets on Universal Studio Tour.
We had a lot of fun making those films here on the lot. I wonder what it'd be like to go back to those days. If only we had a time machine.
Everybody, you think we can get this tram up to 88 miles per hour? See you in the future.
Oh my gosh!
We're definitely going to try. So next we're entering into our Courthouse Square area, better known as Hill Valley, our Back to the Future films. Oh, and it looks like we've got Doc in the time machine hanging out with us here today. Doc.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Watched it all the time. Yeah, we watched all of them. We watched 1, 2, and 3. I fell asleep during 1, 2, and 3. 1 was okay.
Alright, sounds good. Sounds like maybe we shouldn't start that space time continuing for too long, so we're going to say goodbye to Doc for now. Now, most of the sets you're seeing out here in our courthouse location, they were actually built back in the 1940s. However, the rest of our metro sets are actually considerably newer. They are redesigned and rebuilt in 2008. Now, before that, this area was actually home to a studio tour classic, and here's one of the stars of Universal's 2005 version of King Kong, Mr. Jack Black, to tell you all about it.
And self-action. Did you know the Metro sets were once the home of Hollywood's biggest star? Right here is where the original studio tour King Kong attraction resided from 1986 until 2008. He stood 30 feet tall and weighed in at 13,000 pounds. Over the years, millions of guests got to meet King Kong face to face as he shook the tram. So close it feels like banana bread. Is that it? I think that's my last line, and then the tram moves on to the next thing.
Yep, we are moving on to our next thing, which is our New York Street location. Now, our New York Street's been using productions like NCIS, Criminal Minds, The Amazing Spider-Man, and even the show American Ninja Warrior. Now, for The Amazing Spider-Man, this area looked very different out here for that movie. They actually draped green screens over the sides of our facades. That way they could change up the cityscape however they wanted to. So Andrew Garfield and his stunt double, or Spider-Man, they were real. They were actually out here on harnesses jumping from rooftop to rooftop. It was just the background that was all CGI or computer-generated imagery. And again, we do call this area our New York Street, but it doesn't necessarily have to be New York. In fact, if you saw Transformers, they transformed this area to downtown LA. Or maybe you saw the Blues Brothers, this area was Chicago.
When the Pinto fell and you saw it land and make this big hole in the street, that was on the back lot. We dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, you're not a good idea.
When people ask me all of the movies I've ever done, what's the most satisfying and the most fun, I've got to say Blues Brothers. We got to sing, we got to dance, got to drive, and train with the best stunt people in the world, and got to be an actor and a writer. So it was a good piece of work.
Danny called John America's guest because just he walked into anybody's house.
During the shooting of the movie, John was missing. We couldn't find him.
Danny went off looking for him, saw a light on in this one house and knocked on the door.
I said, sir, we're doing a movie down here. We're looking for one of our actors. Oh, John, yeah, he's on my couch. He came in, he had a snack a couple hours ago. He's sleeping. He was America's guest. I mean, literally that him.
Now, I know I mentioned this area was also transformed into downtown LA for Transformers. A fun story with that. Good old Michael Bay, director of Transformers. We all know he likes things that go boom in his movies, right? Lots of explosions. So originally he went to the mayor of downtown LA and he said, hey, I want to build some buildings. And the mayor said no. So then he came out here to the Universal back lot where he set up facades or fake walls in front of our facades. One take shoot, it was the stunt double for Shia LaBeouf. He's holding that Allspark in his arms. He's running past the buildings. The buildings are exploding right next to him. That happened on our New York street. I know I've mentioned a couple different movies and TV shows that have filmed out here, music videos. A ton of music videos have filmed out here over the years. In fact, Lady Gaga, she filmed her Edge of Glory music video out here, which was supposed to be like her big love letter to New York. The only problem is it's way too expensive to film in New York, so instead she ended up filming that entire music video out here on our Metro sets, including some portions of our New York street. Taylor Swift, she filmed part of her Wildest Dreams music video out here where she's exiting out of one of our theater marquees. She's this glamorous movie star. She's on the arms of Scott Eastwood, and it looks like there are thousands of adoring fans who are exiting out behind her. In reality, those thousands of adoring fans, those are what we call paid extras. So those are actors. There's not thousands of them, though. There's more like 20 or 30 people who are exiting out, turning the corner, going back inside. Exiting out, turning the corner, going back inside. We're just not focused on those people in the background, so we don't realize it's the same couple people that keep exiting out behind them. So there you know. The same area was also featured in a music video for the band The Offspring. It was for their song Why Don't You Get a Job? So the majority of that music video, you see people starting to basically add on to this big parade. The parade is going right on down our New York street. And then about 2 minutes and 10 seconds into that music video, the camera angle is literally directly in front of us here. So 2 minutes and 10 seconds in, you see classic studio tour driving by. So it's a little whoopsies, a little fun Easter egg to see that. But it makes sense because when they're filming music videos, studios out here, typically they're not recording for sound because the song has already been recorded. They're just filming for like nice little vignettes, and then they'll just layer the song on afterwards, which means we're still giving the studio tours while they're doing active production out here. Sometimes we'll bypass the areas, sometimes we'll reroute, but that was a moment in time where essentially it was captured on film and then they kept it in their production, so kind of neat to see. Other times, the tram is featured on purpose, and we like to call those moments tram cameos. Right up on your screens here, you're seeing Big Fat Liar, great example of the entire Universal Studios lot. They go inside of our prop department area, up to our costume location as well. You see that glamour tram, everything in there is pretty neat. Looks like right now the tram, we are continuing on here, which is great, because what that means is in just a few moments, and they'll be coming over on the right-hand side, today you're going to get a chance to check out the collapsing bridge and the runaway train. Now, the collapsing bridge, it was a mechanical effect that the trams used to cross. The hydraulic support beams would split and the bridge would seem to collapse. The runaway train, it was originally located out on our western sets. It used to hurl towards the tram and then come to a screeching halt. Now, both of these effects, they are officially retired at this point, but they were added to the studio tour over 50 years ago. And it looks like up next, we're going to take you over to our small island area, so I'm going to go ahead and let Peter Jackson tell you a little bit more about our next location.
It's the original King Kong that made see that movie on TV when there was creatures from prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. It was great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
I was wondering why I
We
couldn't see
really
it.
put a lot of thought into the character and personality of him, and he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature of Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are being rolled to his personality. He's had an enormous number of encounters with his foes, the T-Rexes and the various dinosaurs and small others, and he's been beaten up, scarred, chewed up.
Glasses on. Glasses on, baby.
They've won numerous Academy Awards for their work on films like Avatar, Lord of the Rings, and King Kong. At this point in the tour, you guys can go ahead and hang on to those 3D glasses. We'll definitely need them a little later on here in the tour. We can take a quick look at your screens. Right about now, you can see that room that we were just in. Those screens that were 40 feet tall and 180 feet wide. In fact, the original King Kong, he was miniature, stood about 18 inches tall. But then for Peter Jackson's version of King Kong, he used over 800 miniatures throughout his entire production.
The audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. Working on a movie, we always know where people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that they're working on. Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions. Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we used to working on, there's no cuts because it's where the screen is 10 meters away. We're really creating about 50 minutes of pictures. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting it to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
That's right, it was quite a ride. And right now we're continuing on this wonderful ride. We're taking it back to our metro set. So we're traveling through our London Square location. This area was also heavily featured in The Amazing Spider-Man. And again, it looks very different. They've draped more of those green screens over the side of our painted wall, over the sides of our facades. But speaking of walls, on the left-hand side, you're seeing that lovely brick wall out there. There's actually no brick out there at all. It's all from rubber fiberglass.
Looks real, but it's not real. Facade is fake. Like that wall might be fake. It looks like a real wall, but it might be fake.
Done by artist Tristan Lee. He did the entire thing using spray paints. Really just an incredible job out there. Nice homage to those classic monster movies, since we are the birthplace of those classic monster movies like Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Bride of Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Invisible Man, all those classics filmed right out here on our lot. Alright, so as we continue to cruise along here, coming up over on the left-hand side, you all are about to see a nice little body of water out here. Now, in the past, we like to call this area our Park Lake location. However, these days, we call this area the Hollywood Ocean. And that is because here in 1974, we added the parting of the Red Sea to the studio tour, inspired by the classic film Shenanigans, a Paramount picture. The star of the movie Charlton Heston made an appearance to park the waters for our guests, and the glamour train seemed to drive right through the lake and give everyone on board a sea-level view.
This train is all the water.
There have also been exploding water mines, torpedoes, and crop submarines as part of the action on the lake. And they've also recognized that location out there as the Black Lagoon from Creature from the Black Lagoon. Again, we really do love our monster movies here at Universal. In fact, we love them so much that opening up next year in Orlando is Dark Universe at Universal Epic Universe. Again, that is opening up next year in Orlando. Then coming up next, looks like we're going to take you over to our Little Europe area, which is great because Little Europe is officially the birthplace of those classic monster movies. Our Little Europe is also home to The Good Place, at least for those exterior sets. In fact, I know I played you this clip a little earlier in the tour. I'm going to go and replay it up on your screens here, just so you can see what this area looks like when it's fully dressed up for a production versus what we're about to see out here today. Now, maybe you never watched The Good Place, no worries. Maybe you're one of my Disney fans on board the tour, and you recognize this area as Genovia from Princess Diaries 2, a royal engagement. It's where they held the princess parade for the royal wedding. This area was also featured, if you remember, in the late 90s. Disney did a revamped version of Cinderella, starring Brandy, Whitney Houston, Whoopi Goldberg. They used our town center area for that production. And then Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, they filmed a whole bunch of scenes out here as well. But again, honestly, this area is really well known for those classic monster movies.
I only see me as guest.
Maybe if we sat on the other side, we sat one on that side, so much.
That is what it was part of long chain. The original process really scary.
And then coming up here over on the right-hand side, we are about to pass by our Court of Miracles location. This is actually where Frankenstein's creature, he busted the wall, made his very first on-screen appearance. This was also featured in that revamped version of Cinderella that I was mentioning to you. So two very different productions utilizing the same sets. So these areas really are used over and over and over again. In fact, there's a commercial out right now featuring Pedro Pascal, and he wakes up and then he like follows this trail dust of, or trail of maybe sand, magic sand, if you will, and essentially leads him out to the beach where then he has like a nice drink from his beer. That whole commercial filmed right out here in our lot. It's pretty neat. Over on the left-hand side, you're seeing a nice traditional house set. This house was originally designed for a show called Home and Family, which aired on the Hallmark Channel. It was a daily talk show that used to film out here in our lot. But they've since wrapped things up for that production, so now we have a couple new shows been using this set. One of the shows is Bel Air. Again, that's one that's based on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. For season 1, it was an influencer's house. The show Never Have I Ever, they did some filming there for season 3. Or maybe like those baking competition shows, they showed baking it for season 1. They filmed a bunch of cute winter wonderland scenes in the backyard area there, so lots of uses over the years. And the neat thing about that particular house set, there are actually 2 kitchens inside. One of the kitchens works, the other is just for presentational purposes. So if you ever watched a show like Home and Family, typically at some point they have like a cooking segment where they're like, I'm gonna put this turkey into the oven, and then they cut to commercial and they come back and they're like, look at this fully cooked turkey I just took out of the oven. They have been prepping that turkey all day long in a separate kitchen, so now you know all about the illusion out here. The backyard area there, typically they'd have like a live celebrity interview, sometimes a live celebrity performance. There was one summer we were driving by and we saw this guy in this red sequined number from head to toe, and then he started to sing Sweet Caroline to us as we were getting closer and closer. It was Neil Diamond in the backyard, so sometimes that happens on the studio tour where you're like, we just saw Neil Diamond today, or sometimes they're shooting a promo for a particular movie where the studio has said, hey, tour guides, it's an NDA, it's a non-disclosure agreement, don't talk about it, even though there might be some super fast, super souped-up cars that are literally parked within eye view of everyone here on the tour, and then all of a sudden you get the cast of the Fast and Furious movies coming out to say hi to everybody on the trail. That has happened as well, where Vin Diesel literally comes and says hi to everybody. So, just depends on the day that you're here. So, you know, again, you never know what could happen. Now, it looks like in just a few moments we are waiting for our turn to take you all inside of a soundstage today. So we've got the red light right now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get that green light. They have been allowing a lot of the tours inside of this soundstage today. They're prepping the soundstage for a production that I believe is supposed to start filming here on Monday. So they've been allowing the tours through here, just so we can kind of show you all what a fully dressed set looks like. So just like you all are doing now, just make sure to remain seated. It can get a little bumpy as we drive through this area today. In fact, if you have any loose belongings, I just recommend maybe hanging on to those items. And since we are exploring the first level, again, it could get bumpy, but there are actually 2 stories inside of this structure, so just want to kind of give you a heads up on that. But again, obviously, we're going to drive through, so we'll see the first level today. Now, with this particular soundstage, I mentioned there is that second story. We only have one other soundstage like that here in our lot. That was the one we passed by right at the very beginning of the tour, soundstage 12, where The Voice used to film. Otherwise, for the other soundstages, if we have like an upstairs or we need a second story for a particular production, they just build those sets right next to each other, and then they edit those scenes together, so that way it looks like, oh yes, they've gone up the stairs upstairs. In reality, that set might be right next door. Looks like enough chit-chat. We're going to head on in. Welcome to Soundstage 50. Oh, alright, looks like today they have it all set up like a subway station. Great, not seeing any of the crew numbers right now.
Yeah.
We should have some active production folk here in just a moment or two. So we'll hang tight here for a moment just so they can kind of really explain to us what the scenario is that they're setting up. I was in San Francisco. Okay, great. We can use those contexts to those okay, nothing to worry about, folks. There's one of our California truckers. You know, we get those utilities here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just remain calm. Remain seated. Be the big one. Oh, it looks like that second story is collapsing on that ceiling. Look out, car 3. Car 4. Got some sparks up here by car 1. Oh, and now we've got some
never seen that.
So earthquake big one, it did originally open up 35 years ago, so back in 1989. It recently reopened this spring, so it was closed for about a year and a half. But it opened up this spring for our 60th anniversary of the studio tour, but complete with a Hollywood makeover. So we updated all the props and movie making equipment, essentially bringing that set into the 21st century.
Yeah, baby.
Now, at this point in the tour, we're about halfway through. So here's that first friendly reminder for you. We still have that right-hand cord that's located directly in the center of the tram. So if you do have a medical emergency, you drop something over the side, maybe it's an extreme bathroom emergency, you do have that as an option. Otherwise, we'll just remain seated, continue on here at the tour. Now, I know real quick back there, maybe it was a little traumatic for some of us, so we're going to make that to you all right now. We're about to take everyone on a nice little vacay. We're going to head right on over to Amity Island, a small New England town. Don't worry, we have caught the great white man-eating shark jaws hanging out, literally, over on the right-hand side of the train. Back to my friend George. He's a police diver. He's out in the water right now. He's just checking to make sure everything's all clear for us, just in case we decide we want to hop out. We go for a nice little afternoon swim. Looks like there's something out in the water there with George. Hey George! George, you might want to swim back to your police boat, buddy. George? Oh, George had a lot of guts to be out there, and here they are. Okay, folks, no worries. We are just going to move up a little further here. We're going to hide behind these flammable gas tanks. I bet that is definitely going to be the next safest place where we can hide. Okay, hopefully whoever's out the water will take the bait. It's attached to the little barrel. Okay, so the barrel is moving out there. That's a good sign. Okay, well, that looks like it's attacking the dock. Well, they said there are more sharks out here, so, it must just be... That's a shark. Definitely a shark out there. And he's got a name. His name is Bruce. Bruce is nicknamed after Steven Spielberg's attorney. You may also recognize that name, Bruce. It's the same name of the shark in Finding Nemo. Fish are friends. So their Bruce was nicknamed after our Bruce, who again really was nicknamed after Spielberg's lawyer, still his lawyer to this day. But Bruce out there, he was as much of a menace off screen as he was on screen because Bruce was originally designed for fresh water. But director Steven Spielberg decided to move most of the filming right off the coast of Martha's Vineyard, so as soon as Bruce hit that salt water, he also hit the Atlantic Ocean floor. Alright, looks like coming up next, we're about to take you all to another classic attraction here on the back lot. But here to tell you all about it is today's show co-host and our official weather anchor, Mr. Al Roker. Take it away, Al.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1916. Welcome to the only part of the back lot with a 100% chance of rain. The flash flood.
Alright, so it looks like right now we are venturing on down into our old Mexico location. You may recognize this area from productions like Nacho Libre, Three Amigos, and the Lady Gaga music video filmed out here to Jude music video. Sounds like we've got some thunder and lightning effects going on right now. The lightning effects, those are strobe lights, creating that effect out there for us today. And then for the thunder effects, those are speakers strategically placed throughout the set. And we've got some rain effects going on as well right now. Great. The rain effects, those are sprinklers shooting the water straight up into the air, allowing the water to fall down naturally to the earth, just like rain would.
They want to make it not
normally at
obvious.
this point of the day, this is where they turn off the rain effects.
That one's not really hidden. That one's clearly
Weird. It looks like we don't have anybody up in the weather booth right now either. Okay, folks, no worries. I'm sure we'll have someone out here in just a few moments. So that way oh boy. Okay, looks like all that rain, we just caused ourselves a flash flood. Make sure you keep those cameras nice and protected.
Flood is only in
I'm sure you'll all be very happy to know that all that flash flood water you see there, it's all recycled water. We do cycle it right back up to the very tip top of that hill. And we just saw flash flood up close and personal. You may have also recognized that location if you saw this movie, Big Fat Liar.
You can't outrun the wolf, cat! Yeah, posted about that. Everybody posted!
Alright, so after that flash flood, we're going to take it nice and easy now. We're going to have that border nosy right on down. Our 6 Points location. You want to hear at 6 Points, for those of you who saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you've seen this area in a bunch of scenes from that movie. Specifically the scenes with Leonardo DiCaprio and the little girl took place out here. Or maybe you're watching the show Killing It, starring Craig Robinson. They filmed a whole bunch of scenes out here for season 1 and season 2. You may also notice a lot of door frames out here today, and they are all different sizes. That is done on purpose because a few of our Western cowboys were a little on the shorter side. So what we would do is we would stand those shorter cowboys up in front of one of the smaller door frames. That way they would appear bigger, brawnier, stronger. And then maybe that female co-star, maybe she was a little taller, so maybe they cast someone like me. I'm almost 6 foot, not quite, almost there. What they do is they'd stand me up in front of one of those taller door frames. That way I'd appear a little more petite, more vulnerable, in need of saving, if you will. It makes sense a lot of our cowboys would be on the shorter side because back in the day, we were really looking for folks who knew how to ride horses, so we would end up recruiting horse jockeys. Typically, those gentlemen are going to be smaller in stature, so definitely makes sense. Plus, you go back, you watch a lot of those older westerns, you'll notice they always seem to have a water ditch that runs directly through the center of town, but there's never any water in that ditch. That's because that is meant for that female co-star to stand in, so when she's walking next to that cowboy, she's going to look ever so slightly shorter than her male co-star. So, there you go. Now, looks like right now we are getting ready to turn the corner, and then in just a few moments, we're going to get a chance to turn another corner. We're going to make our way up through Steven Spielberg Drive, which is perfect because I'm actually going to go ahead and bring up Steven. He is going to tell us all about the Jaws attraction and how it came into existence.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of the ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal. We were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the trench. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on Universal Lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1970.
Let's continue to make our way up the hill here. Coming up over on the right-hand side, we're going to see our Chicken Ranch, which was originally designed for this production of Nestle Warehouse in Texas. They also heavily featured in Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses and Elma Theo's Sorry for Party Rocky music video. So this is a great example of a practical set, which means we can put on the inside as well as the outside. Great example of that facade in the backyard there. It's from the television series of Attaboy, which filmed out there for about 2 seasons. We're up on the inside. We're seeing the tail end of our Colonial Street area today, otherwise known as Wisteria Lane for my Desperate Housewives fans. They've actually had a promo that's doing a lot of active production out there over the last couple of days. You also come up here on the left-hand side. For those of you who are my Back to the Future fans, hopefully recognize those Lion Estate signs. Now, technically, those are recreations of the original props they've done for the big 30th anniversary of the Back to the Future trilogy, but a little throwback there. In fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and throw it back to Steven Spielberg. He is going to tell us all about one of the very first times he joined us here on the lot as a guest.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called a Gray Line tour bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. It was my first time ever on the movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, were made on film, not to say they're made all over the world or on location, but Burlington was focused in those days, in the 60s, on film buffs. So nobody noticed me when I was running around from soundstage to soundstage. I felt in my own young way, I owned the loft and had the most amazing day of my life.
Which is just wild to think because again, right now we are still currently traveling on Stevens Field Drive. In just a few moments, we're going to be checking out one of Stevens Field sets. So Steven has done quite well for himself here at the Universe lot. Now, coming up next, we are about to show you the crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of Worlds. For those who've been on the tour in the past, you'll notice we are getting a chance to take a look at this at a different angle today. This is an actual Boeing 747 that was specifically destroyed for this set.
Sit down and talk about what if it's 747?
They were real. It's a real plane. They destroyed it.
You're doing good.
It was. They took, yeah, just for this one.
Close?
He's an old plane, but all movies cost a lot.
Let me get in.
You remember we walked around here? On your birthday? Was it?
Now, another really neat way this airplane crash site set is used. Twice a year, the SWAT team is out here with their search and rescue dogs, and they do search and rescue training out here. Since it's an actual airplane, it's a fantastic training facility for those animals, so kind of cool. You may have also recognized this if you're a big fan of Nicki Minaj and Rihanna. It's where they filmed their Fly music video where they're using their dance moves to fight off a bunch of ninjas out here. And if you're wondering, where did this airplane come from? The Mojave Desert. Basically, there's this big airplane graveyard full of retired or decommissioned planes. So the production purchased the plane for about $60,000, chopped it up into a couple different pieces, brought all those pieces out here on big flatbed trucks. But in order to do so, they had to rip the roof off the top of the plane so it fit like under the underpasses. And originally, production thought, oh, Spielberg, he's going to want to reattach it, right? Instead, Spielberg said, no, this looks great. Let's incorporate this into the movie. So if you remember the production, the alien basically grabs the plane out of the sky, rips the roof off, sucks the people out, tosses the plane down. We are looking at the remnants of that airplane crash in a very traditional New Jersey neighborhood. So the homes you're passing by there on the left, those are modeled after a real neighborhood in New Jersey where they got some nice establishing shots. And then when they came out here, they built the destroyed versions of those same houses. So pretty neat. Now, if you're thinking to yourselves, oh boy, this area looks pretty creepy right now. Imagine this area at night, and someone's chasing you with a chainsaw.
Only for part of the show,
Like
plus they
thought to you?
closed.
Come
Those
on
look
back
like
and
they
join us here for
closed.
Halloween Horror Night. So that starts up September 5th this year, goes all the way through November 3rd. So if you do like scary things, highly recommend that event. If you don't like getting scared, it is not the event for you, okay? We do take scaring very seriously here at Universal. But it's a good time if you're into that kind of thing. Now, I know that we have officially announced, I believe there are 4 at this point. No, we just announced another one. So, some of the themes, we're going to have one based on a quiet place, one based on a new theme.
I don't know. I thought you did them all with me. I thought Jay skipped one. The bus one. Oh, you did?
I just skipped one.
So, again, we're still announcing what the themes are going to be, but it's a good time if you're into that kind of thing.
I thought I asked you, and I thought you wanted to do
that
it.
original Psycho house back there on the right-hand side. But it looks like coming up next, we are about to show you all our official scale replica of LA's most iconic landmark, the Hollywood sign.
Look at the
Now,
Hollywood
we're celebrating
sign.
our 60th. The Hollywood sign is commemorating its centennial year. And then in just a few moments, you are going to get the chance today to step onto the lot. Now, this will be a limited stop for a limited time. People will be disembarking for some fun, once-in-a-lifetime photo opportunities here. So that said, make sure you take all of your belongings with you, including those 3D glasses. You will need them when you resume the tour. While you're out there, you also may notice some QR codes that look a little something like this, like the ones you're seeing up on your screens there. Those are some Universal Cinematic AR filters. If you use those, you get the chance to create your own iconic Universal experience. So, totally optional, but we love giving you options out here. So just a moment, our wonderful studio tour ambassadors are going to open up those gates for you there. Watch those arms and legs. enjoy your day out there, and thanks for joining me on, like 3/4 of the tour today. So have fun.
My flowers. Are we getting down?